public address system has been destroyed. And I can tell you that, as I mentioned, even if members of parliament decide to return to the facilities here will not be ready for the exercise.
That is your seat. You've broken your seat, so go. What are doing is not right.
The public address system has been destroyed.
This time around, this is happening.
No, we are. No, just stop them.
that is ongoing. The other members
public address system has been destroyed. And I can tell you that, as I mentioned, even if members of Parliament decide to return to the board, the facilities here will not be ready for the exercise.
That is your seat out. You've broken your seat, so go.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Hello, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on Good Morning Ghana. Today is Friday. Thank God we're still alive and kicking, and we're back here to serve you the best of breakfast on Good Morning Ghana. We'll go straight ahead and look at what the newspapers are reporting this morning. But before that, my name is Awudu Moro. So I'll start with the Daily Graphic. The Daily Graphic this morning is reporting that Constitution must inspire trust, President. And also AG abandons appeal against Atufosin. Ghana will be Africa's AI hub in 4 years. Africa Prosperity Dialogue creates single market to provide jobs for youth, Vice President. The Ghanaian Times. Engage widely with citizens, President assures or urges Constitutional Review Committee. Safety of GMOs will be evaluated, Environment Minister designate. AG and Minister of Justice withdraws charges against Dr. Ampofo Kweku Boahen. We will protect Ghanaian workers from mistreatment, Labour Minister designate. The new weekend crusading guide. WAPCO's maintenance activity start 5th February. Speaker condemns novelty attacks on state, private properties. Dr. Stephen Amoa's statement on the floor of Parliament dealing with setting fundamental economic anomalies in Ghana. Angela Lister sets rightful ownership and leadership of BCM. Ploy to overturn Mohammed's appointment at YEA in motion, who called visually impaired Deputy CEO Atule that his appointment was a mistake. Small-scale miners assure Amakofi Bua, we will support you to achieve your mining industry reforms agenda. The Insight newspaper. Constitutional reform. President Mahama says move, not admission of failure. Disability community rallies behind Jacob Atule amid YEA appointment controversy. U.S. lawmaker proposes bill to allow third term for Trump. Sahel states exit ECOWAS, launch regional passport and joint military. The Herald newspaper. Mineral fund caught in $41 million conflict of interest. Awarded office complex project to its landlord through restrictive tender. NPP MPs destroy chairs, tables, and microphones at ministerial vetting ahead of Minta Akando and Okujeto Ablakwa's appearance. Lieutenant General Arnold Kwenu goes home on 7th February 2025. Bamia gets more international engagement, addresses Harvard 2025 Africa Business Conference. Professor Ransford Jampo appointed CEO of Ghana Shippers Authority. The Inquisitor. NPP's defeat fact-finding committee under pressure as rented petitioners pop up. Afenyo Markins justifies appointments committee's decision not to vet Linda Oklu. The living God I serve has disgraced, cursed my persecutors, Dr. Stephen Opuni. Angela Lister says rightful ownership and leadership of BCM. Former NSS boss commended by current boss. The Daily Statesman. UN resident coordinator, Africa risk falling behind without technology. We must break our fragmented markets. VIP rallies African leaders for action at APD 2025. Mahama rewards varsity dawns. Daily Post. President Mahama swears in 8-member Constitution Review Committee. Minority hooted at over chaos at appointment committee sitting. Sam George defeats minority. NDC supporters throw support behind MFA Hardcastle. The Business and Financial Times. When it matters most in national development, partisanship must jump through the window. Why the prosecution of Dr. Siama was a political witch hunt. President appoints Bernice Makafui Brempong as CEO of GIPC. GRA pursues improved tax indicators to up revenue. AG drops charges against ex-Bank of Ghana deputy governor. WAPCO prepares for offshore pipeline cleaning inspection from February 5. The Catholic Standard. Burkina Faso unveils first locally made electric car. Nuncio calls for end to stigma against cured lepers. Pope decries crisis of truth in AI message to Davos Forum. No Catholic permitted to be a Freemason, Archbishop Kofi. Let's look at the Metro lens. I will bring back anti-gay bail, according to Sam George. There's Gifty Clenam joins NDC. Omani Boama approved as defense minister by Parliament. The Daily Searchlight. Closed down Ghana's embassy in Washington and shut down U.S. embassy in Accra, according to a petition. And there's family of slain Martha Tete demands justice after 3-year delay. There's offensive youth threatening action over delayed chieftaincy case. The custodian. Afenyomakan grills Mohammed's boy over CJ anti-gay bill. Mohammed swears in the 8-member Constitution Review Committee. When I return, I'll be introducing my guests and the conversation will start. Stay with us.
Again.
Hello, thank you for calling MTN.
This is Jerry, Jolly J for short.
How may I help?
I'm not happy with you guys at all. You've been giving Bongo gifts all the time.
Who is Bongo?
Oh, Bongo, my friend. He purchased in my room.
Oh.
You've been giving free gifts, but I don't.
That's MTN Rewards, sir. Talk, text, browse, and more, and you get to redeem free call time or data by simply dialing *550#. And on Fridays, you can even get extra special rewards like food vouchers, shopping discounts, and much more.
Didn't tell me anything. Would you like to know how I got the name Jolly J?
That won't be necessary, Mr. Jolly. Calling customer care service doesn't give you points.
I'm gonna call my mom. I'll call my grandma. I'll call my ex. That girl can talk, Papa. Hello, Mama. So what's the topic for today?
MTN.
Attention all farmers. Are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and IRECOP brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafo Ajinkwa, and the IRECOP with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and IRECOP organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by Cocoa Board, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
Great music. Excellent service. Great company. And meats galore. The Alisa Friday Barbecue. It's fun on Fridays at Alisa.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Look around. Home also need a makeover. Mine clearly does. So we went to Ashroom and found the Como collection. It had everything we're looking for and more. Matching furniture for the entire home, designed with you in mind.
Where's Como collection? Dressing up is just a breeze. Always ready with a perfect accessory.
A magic dressing mirror. One look and you're ready to face the world. Or at least the kids.
A bed perfect for young men who want
a table that turns into a treasure chest.
And finally, a sofa with this grand TV unit for family time at home.
Head over to any Ashphone store now and discover the new Como collection. Ashphone, feel it, know it.
Customer, I don't know who to say.
Malaria been actually me, man. No more brand, man. Still.
One of them give us.
Give us a solid.
Yeah. Sorry. What rust also give us here and don't come down.
What's over that song? But for me to give us the and some down.
Give us a bad mixture.
Me patron the and some down.
Customer. Give us a ton now.
Onuya kayo oba wa fa furo nom de o ma no bonu fo nom akwada wa ni mfie dumie no ono nso nom.
All right, welcome back. This is Good Morning Ghana on the Metro Television. We're now getting straight and look at what the newspapers are reporting this morning. For the big stories in the newspapers, my guest already here, Elikem Kotoko, is the Deputy National Organizer of the NDC. He's joined us this morning for a conversation. We'll also be expecting the rep from the NPP side, who will also be joining us. What's the name of this? Our good friend, the Salaman. The Salaman, is it? That's Amidu Chiana Isahaku, who is a former Sisala East MP, a former Deputy Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources. He will also be joining us on the show shortly. But let me quickly say a very good morning to Elikem. Elikem, good morning. It's good to see you. How are you?
Good morning, my brother.
Yeah.
I'm doing very good.
Right.
It's another beautiful day and a chance to keep trying at what we can do better.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, when some of you, well, not some of you, but when some of you young, the young ones, of course, in the NDC, join me on this show, one of the things I keep asking them is how they're dealing with the pressure. How are you dealing with the pressure? And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I understand. you've just come to power and expectations are high.
Yes.
Already, there's always been pressure, especially when you are in a leadership position. But it's a human institution. One just needs to learn to manage that. And therefore, your human relations is very key. How you relate to people defines you and define how they equally perceive you, and the tolerance level you have for them, I think also enables them to understand you better. So yes, the pressure is there, but we need to learn to manage it. And as young men and women, there could not be any better place to be than in the National Democratic Congress, which we believe is an equal opportunity provider, regardless of your age, sex, or gender, trade, tribe, family name, what have you. So yes, it always feels good to belong to the NDC. One could not afford to be anywhere else than in the National Democratic Congress. So yes.
But the pressure comes in various forms. One is political, and there's one which is economic. I'm sure some of your party foot soldiers, I'm not even looking at party foot soldiers or party supporters calling and asking for one form of appointment or some kind of maybe a contract or anything like that. But I'm looking at it more from, are you also getting calls from party supporters asking when your appointment letter is going, when your green letter is going to drop?
Yeah,
are you getting that as well?
It is. I mean, it's a natural phenomenon at this stage because there are people who also aligned with you and feel that you are the only one they can assess or relate to. So at such point, you have all those calls. There are those who also tell you, I'm expecting nothing. All I want is just that. Let's kick the ball rolling. All I'm expecting is this or that. So yes, like I said, the pressures will always be there.
Okay.
But how you relate, how you handle or manage it will define you best for even tomorrow. Because many are the wants and needs of people. Like when I was here, a gentleman called me from Ebuakwa North. In fact, I was thinking you heard him.
Okay.
And according to him, he had not eaten yesterday. And he only needed 50 cedis. So I told him I was in the studio, so you, when I'm done, drop your Momo number and I'll do that. And it's a regular thing that happens. Some also has come anyways, because they find very touchy words to string together to appeal to you. And I recall, for instance, I can say this today. I recall some 6 years ago, a gentleman sent me some pictures of a child that was a 3-month-old child that was born not a bit deformed and all that, and was soliciting for funds. So because my social media handle was very active, it's very active, I posted it there. And a few people tried to contribute. I didn't do proper background, which was something I failed at, but because I was carried away by my emotions, seeing what happened. So I tried raising funds for him. And one philanthropist, Alhaji Seydou Agogo, gave some very good amount in support of the gentleman.
Okay, this was my last.
Yeah, no, six years ago.
Oh, 6 years
yes.
ago. Okay.
Only some few minutes for us to realize that it was a stock in trade.
Oh.
And one media person.
So it was a scam.
Yes, one media person. I think Kamani, or I've forgotten whoever it was.
Okay.
A lady at a sister station.
Yes.
Also said she was a
Kamani,
victim. Yeah, I think so. Another person also came. I was a victim. Oh, this guy.
Oh.
So I tried cajoling and getting him arrested, which I could have easily done.
Right.
But Alhaji said, look, leave him. He leaves him to God. And so I decided to let him be.
Okay.
Because I eventually told him, okay, the person who gave you that huge amount says he wants to buy you a car so that you can have a sustainable job to do. And he was excited. So he was supposed to come for the car and all that, and would have apprehended him. But once Alhaji said we should let it go, we let it slide. So yeah, the pressure is always there.
And let the person live with their conscience.
The conscience. But do they have conscience?
Yeah.
That's the question. But yeah, so we will have the pressure, but we need to learn to manage
it. It reminds me, just 2 weeks ago, or must have been last week or 2 weeks ago, there was a gentleman who came here right after Good Morning Ghana, and the person approached one of the guests who came on the show and he had a picture of a deformed baby, and came and said he wanted us to support him raise some funds to take care of the medical bills of the baby, because apparently she had to undergo surgery in order to treat whatever normally or medical. It was last week Saturday. Okay. And then what I said to the person was that, look, what we can do is a request from management, whether management would allow us to put this out there, so that if there are, kind-hearted people out there who, public-spirited persons who would want to support us, they would go ahead to do so.
Yeah.
And then we wanted to take his details, his name, and and all the other information that we needed. The guy said, "Okay, but can we give him something?" So, but can you give me something now, because we need to, buy some medications and things. And I said, "Look, don't worry. But what we need, what is more important, is the cost of the surgery."
The cost of the
Do you know? By the time we said Jack, the guy left, and we couldn't even trace him. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
It's social media, appeal for funds for him. And he vanished.
Yeah, they do a lot of. There are
all over the place.
There are a lot of scammers all over, and it's a kind of a survival of the fittest approach to doing things.
Yeah.
And it makes it difficult sometimes, even if you are capable of helping other people.
You hesitate.
Yeah, you hesitate. For instance, a gentleman called me that he has gotten admission to a school in Russia.
Okay.
He's gotten everything underway except for his ticket fare.
Right.
And he needed 13,000 to in Nigerian terms to complete.
To complete it.
And he reached out. So fortunately, he said he was going to share his the details of everything with me.
Okay.
And so he did, and I noticed he was genuine. So I told him, well, I'll try and speak to a few people and see what we can do. That is how it is. So there are genuine people there with genuine concerns, but by reason of the fact that they are also, I want to find the confident tricksters out there who also see an opportunity to play on our emotions and get away with their scams.
Okay.
You just have to be careful. So, and we can never insulate ourselves enough. Because no matter what, somebody will still have his way with you. Just pray it's not anything huge or that of that magnitude. Somebody may tell you, I mean, it's regular for you to have messages daily. Boss, I haven't eaten the whole day. Boss, today my breakfast is on you. And if you know, not only as a parent, but as human, and you know what it means to go hungry for some few hours, and someone tells you, I haven't had a meal, you feel challenged to want to offer some assistance.
I get it.
Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
Before we get on with the main business of the day, which is look at the big stories in the newspapers, some concerns have come up, and I'm glad you're here. So currently, as we speak, in your party, the director of communications of your party is now the PMMC boss, who's been tasked the responsibility of setting up the gold board.
Yes.
Anabisu, Dr. Hanabisu, who's the national women's organizer, has now been made administrator of the Common Fund.
Yeah.
And then you have your national youth organizer, George Opariado, affectionately we call him Pablo. He's now the Minister for Youth Employment.
Youth Empowerment.
Youth Empowerment or something. Employment and Youth Empowerment, something like that. Okay. Before I go ahead, let me just quickly do this. Let's acknowledge the presence of Honorable Chinia, Amidou Chinia Isahaku, who is a former MP for Sisala East and also the former Deputy Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources. Boss, good morning.
Morning.
Good to see you. It's been a while.
Yes.
You abandoned us briefly, but
because I had to go for the campaign.
The campaign.
And the elections.
Yes, and unfortunately, it didn't turn out the way you expected.
Well, we did our part, but that is what God has ordained. So
that's true.
I mean, it's part of democracy. It's part of elections.
Right.
You sometimes win, sometimes you lose. So it is in order.
But anyway, I'll come back to you. I mean, it will be interesting to find out how life has been, since you lost the seat, and I'm sure you've been reflecting, and whether indeed you would even want to go back, give it a shot again. But I'll come back to you. There was something I was talking to Elikem about, and so Elikem, I was just saying that some of your key persons have been drafted into government.
Yeah.
and some of your colleagues are already expressing concerns that that could potentially weaken the party, as in the NDC.
Yeah.
Is it a concern you're sharing, or you think that it's really not a big deal?
I agree with them regards their concern.
Okay.
But you see, not until you are at the very heart.
In fact, sorry, I even forgot to say this. Your deputy youth organizer, Osman.
Yeah, the two deputy youth organizers.
The two deputies have all. And then you
deputy
have
communications.
that's Malik Basintale and then Osman Ayariga,
and
the National Youth Authority.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Ruth Sedo.
And quite a number.
Deputy National Service.
Thank you. I mean, it shouldn't be cause for worry.
Okay.
Reason being that every election is very unique. There are no two elections that are the same. A lot of variable factors come to play. And so, in as much as Sami Jemfi, Malik Basintale, myself, etc., played integral role in the 2024 elections, it doesn't necessarily mean that they will be needed to even play same role in the next elections.
Right.
I'm sure you agree with me that Honorable Haruna Idrisu played a very integral role in our executive at a point in time when he was a youth organizer. Maybe given the chance today, he may not be able to. And so at every particular point in time, there's a certain requirement of skills set for the exercise ahead. And as the NDC has always been known for, there will be the time to effectively and efficiently assemble those crop of people. But it is genuine for anyone to express some worry, thinking that the fact that the communications officer has gone, the deputy has gone, the youth organizer is gone, the deputy youth organizers are also gone, and so on and so forth, means that the party structure at the leadership at the top is weakened. Not entirely so. And mind you, I can say without mincing words that the national chairman is not going anywhere, the general secretary is not going anywhere, my boss has also indicated the same. And so if these three key heads of the entire leadership have chosen to stay at the party office, it means that they will be ready to guide new crop of leaders that will come in, using their experience and the exuberance of whoever are coming on board. So it is a genuine concern for anyone to think and believe that the fact that people are leaving will leave the party structure weakened. But that is not entirely true, because every election cycle presents an opportunity for other people also, aside the skill set, for other people to also unearth their potentials, display that, and be called to the table. And so while Sami Jemfi may be leaving now, it means that there's a vacancy there for another person to also demonstrate that I can do it like Sami Jemfi, or I can do it better than Sami Jemfi, or the crop or caliber of persons needed for the next election may not be our characters, may not be our kind of people. And so every election is very unique and will require a certain skill set when the time comes. I'm sure that will be done. Yes.
I see. So what would that mean? Does it mean the party will be appointing persons to act in those positions, or things will remain same until the party goes to Congress?
Well, I think a firm decision will be made moving forward, because the appointments are still ongoing.
Yeah.
And so that when it is concluded, then I'm sure a definite decision will be made in that regards to ensure that the party machinery also runs fluidly in tandem with government to make sure that we not only reset Ghana, but we will secure a resounding victory in the next elections. Mind you, the moment you are done with one elections, it means that the campaign for the next elections has begun, because every activity you embark on is aimed at ensuring you fulfill the promises you made that would propel you to the next level where you want to be. So yes, at the right time, I'm sure that leadership will take that decision.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, I don't know what you think about this, but of course, it's been an age-old practice where as soon as parties win power, they draft members of their national leadership into government. And then people begin to react, and people begin to complain about how that could potentially weaken the structure of the party, weaken the party. And so you have situations where the party in government, the government can do well, but then the party itself may struggle because everybody is concentrating on governance-related issues and not necessarily party-related issues. So now you want to speak to your women's organizer. She has work to do for Ghana, not just your party. You're looking for your youth organizer to speak to him at an issue. He's busily, working for the government, etc., etc. I mean, where do you stand on this? Do you think that perhaps, do you think it's a good practice, or you think it's a bad one, and perhaps the parties would have to take a second look, if indeed you think it's a bad one?
Well, let me say good morning to you and good morning to my colleague panelists. And good morning to the people of Sala East, my constituency, where I represented between 2021 and 2024 or 2025.
Do you know the difficulty I have talking to you?
No.
Do you know the difficulty I have?
No.
The difficulty I have is that, I mean, as my slave, you and I are not supposed to be sitting on the same table. It's totally unacceptable.
The reason why we should...
And you know who your bosses are. Anyway, please go ahead.
Anyway.
That's just by the by.
So, let me say good morning to the people of Sisala East and everybody listening to us this morning. I think that practice of giving ministerial and other appointments to party officials after election has both advantages and disadvantages. And for me, it is not a bad practice.
Okay.
Because a government is formed on the basis of a party. If a party is not elected into government, you can't form a government. And it is the people who support the party over the years through their financial support, through their physical support, through their campaign, and whatever resources they are able to mobilize in diverse ways to bring the party to power. And so there are two things that any president or an appointing authority will be looking at. One, you want to assemble a competent group of people who can help you implement your manifesto promises. Two, you also want to look at people you put in positions who will still be in touch with the party, because it is the party that gave birth to the government. And so these two positions are equally important.
Yeah.
The people must be competent to do the work, but the people must also be available to service the people who made it possible for them to be in government. So for me, it is not a bad practice. But once that is done, then the party itself must be conscious of getting a strong replacement for those that you have put into government.
Yeah.
Because you feel there are competent people who can deliver. You feel that there are the people who know those who made it possible for you to be in government, and so have to be in touch with them and see how they can also support them. Because in politics, you basically look at two things. One, the general development of the country, and then the welfare of your party people or the people who put you in government. And so you need to balance both situations. And so it is not bad, and I think that the current situation should actually be a good lesson for every politician, that you don't hide your head, and then when a party wins, then you emerge and you are fighting for position. You must work for it. You must work to make the party stronger. You must work to make the party popular. You must work to bring the party to power. And then with your competence, they can now put you in office so that you can help the president deliver on his promises. But like I was saying, it is also important that when a party wins power, you don't shift all your human resource into government to the neglect of the party, because the party must continue to keep the government in check. Otherwise, the excesses of the government can lead to your failure.
Right.
And once it is the party that gave birth to the government, you must have a strong leadership that continues to analyze and advise the government. And so, as much as I agree with these appointments of party officials, the party must also take notice that they need a stronger replacement so that both government and party can function strongly, and the two functioning together will enhance the party's chances of retaining power. My brother made a point that, I think that it is valid. That the fact that you put party officials or former party officials into government does not mean that you cannot have equally competent people
to take
over. And he also mentioned the fact that no two elections are the same.
Right.
Exactly the point.
Fact.
Because the people you need to operate as a party in opposition may not be the characters you need when you are in government. And
some party supporters don't want to hear this. It gets them really upset.
Well,
there are people who you use to get power, and there are people who you appoint when the power is...
No, that is not the point I'm making.
That's not the point.
The point I am making is that
okay.
The character or the demeanor of people who lead you in opposition sometimes may not necessarily be the same character of people you need in government.
Okay.
Because when you are in opposition, you are barely talking.
Yeah.
And making proposals without necessarily defending the proposals.
True.
Without having the opportunity to prove that what you are saying can be done, it's achievable. You just talk. You just condemn the party and government. So that style of leadership in opposition cannot be the same as when you are in government and the reality check is on you. And so the people who communicate or who lead your party, their behavior and their character, their disposition might not necessarily be the same. That is the point I'm making. So, that is what I'm saying. The point that he made is valid because the people, probably those that have been appointed, if they were not even appointed, possibly they may not be the kind of people you need to lead the party in government.
Right.
Because of their personality, because of their disposition, because of their way they communicate and all that. So, there are variations depending on which side of the equation
Let me ask the two of you this question, maybe to sort of, conclude this discussion. If the whole idea is, or if one of the reasons why party persons are drafted from party to serve in government is to be able to do two things, which is to do your job, of course, as a government official, but at the same time, as you rightly said, you also have to be able to take care of the welfare for party people. It's extremely important. How then do you explain, Elikem and Chinia, how then do you explain a situation where since 1992, or let's say from 2000, every time a party has lost power, one of the things that is attributed to that loss is that there's always been a disconnect between the party and the government. That narrative keeps coming up all the time. The narrative keeps coming up all the time. There's a disconnect between party and government. How do you explain this? How do we reconcile the two? I don't want to get a point.
Yes, I get your drift, and
yes.
and it is also factual.
Okay,
and that is why I said that you need to balance the kind of people you bring to lead the party.
Okay,
whilst you are in government, because you need a very strong leadership when you are in government. If the government swallows the party to a large extent and dictate the pace, you are going to get exactly what you are
talking about. The outcome that I'm talking about.
But if the party is able to have a hold of the government and is able to behave as though the government is a product of the party.
Yeah, but the party, the party executives who are supposed to do that themselves are busy serving in government.
That is why a big deal. That is why you need strong replacements.
Okay.
The challenge has been that because of resources, the government always seems to be stronger than the party.
True.
Even when you have strong people leading the party, but because of resources, the government does not allow the party to play the role they're supposed to play.
True.
And that eventually affects the parties, the government. Because people are going to judge the party in the next election on the actions of the government. Because, like I said, it is a party that gave birth to the government. So, for instance, it is the NDC that fought and won power for President Mahama. President Mahama is a part of the party. He was selected as the presidential candidate to represent the party. Now he is the president, and he has the power to appoint people into positions. The role the party plays in those appointments is important. Now, at the end of the appointment, if executives are drifted into the party, executives are drifted into the government, the executive arm of government, then you need to have strong personalities to replace those who have been drifted into government.
Right.
But the government itself must have a clear understanding of the fact that it is a product of the party. Once the government does not accept that, no matter what the party does, it becomes difficult for you to reconcile the two.
Right.
And like I said, when the government swallows the party, then certainly you are going to suffer at the end of the day.
That's a recipe for disaster.
You are going to suffer.
For disaster. Elikim, I don't know if you have any quick comments to make. I mean,
nothing much
disconnect
to
between
add.
party and government, and yet there are party people in government.
Yes, nothing much to add, but to say, you see, when you are even elected as a national officer or as an officer of the party, it is just part of the process of honing yourself and your skills, and also showcasing what you are capable of in the event that even when your party comes to power, when you play your role so well, it is believed that you could be further elevated to do what you were doing under a small situation on a bigger field. And so that is the reason why the only concern is the disconnect. Some rise to that level and suddenly, which is not, we know in human institutions, either become arrogant or ignore the base or forget about their roots or suddenly think they are larger than life and on their high horses. It's normal in every human institution. It's not only in politics. There are people who change position and then their mental capacity, etc., also changes with that. That is why there's a saying, people usually say that money changes people also. But I think other proponents have come to say money rather exposes
who you truly are,
or power exposes who you truly are.
Yeah.
So that is just about it. If you truly understand the culture of service, it is one reason why I always keep saying that if you ever think that service is beneath you, then leadership is equally what? Beyond you.
Right.
So if you cannot understand these two, then you are lost. Then you are at the wrong place. Because mind you, there are some people at certain places, it is just for a certain selfish or personal interest. And they've just been waiting until that is eventually kicked in motion. Then you now see their true colors. But on the whole, I believe that the disconnect matter, and I must commend our General Secretary, Honorable Fifi Kote, and the National Chairman in particular. He has decided to make sure that there will not be such disconnect. In fact, he has made this categorically clear that this whole talk about disconnect in the past will not be something that would happen
will be
again.
a thing of the past.
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. So let's go to Parliament and look at the unfortunate incident that happened, the showdown in Parliament. And it is with heavy hearts that I'm about to read the story. I mean, one would have thought that parliamentarians would know better, but from time to time they keep disappointing us. It's about MPs destroy chairs, tables, and microphone at ministerial vetting. Tensions flared last night during yesterday's session of the Appointments Committee hearing as members of the minority and majority caucuses clash over the vetting of Kwabena Menta Akando and Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa. The disagreement erupted when the minority proposed a rescheduling of the vetting to today, Friday, January 31, 2025, citing concerns over the day's loaded proceedings. However, majority members rejected this suggestion, insisting that the vetting should continue as scheduled. The disagreement escalated into chaos, with minority members disrupting the session by breaking tables and microphones in an effort to prevent any delay, because insiders say they wanted to have more time to grill, especially Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, the Member of Parliament, for the North Town constituency in the Volta region. Ogujeto Ablakwa has been the chairman of the President John Mahamed's Operation Recover or Loot, which is oral team. He has also been behind several scandals that occurred under the Akufo-Addo government, including the purchase of ambulances for the Ghana National Ambulance Service. Ogujeto Ablakwa has raised concerns about a purported visa processing scandal involving Ghana's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. Despite the disruptive stance of the minority, the majority stood firm, arguing that the committee was following its established schedule and that the vetting should proceed without interruption. The situation prompted a heightened security presence in the conference room as tensions mounted as the minority insisted that no further nominees should be vetted, pointing out that an agreement had been made to vet just 4 nominees and adjourn for the day. The majority insisted on proceeding with the vetting session beyond 10 p.m., but the minority strongly opposed the move, declaring that they were done for the day. As the clash between the two factions continued, the committee's work came to a standstill, with both sides refusing to back down from their positions. Things descended into chaos between members of the minority and majority, leading to a heated confrontation. The clash escalated to the point where tables and microphones were destroyed, prompting the intervention of the police to restore order and prevent further destruction. Members of the minority started to lose the arranged tables. In the process, most of the microphones fell off and got broken. After 30 minutes of confusion, Majority Leader Mahama Yariga and other leaders stepped in and calmed tempers. He announced that with the tables broken and microphones destroyed, sitting can't continue, forcing the committee to reschedule today at the Speaker's conference room. Let me start with Chinia. Chinia is a former member of Parliament, so maybe he would have a better understanding of what may have possibly happened and how some of these things sometimes occur. Of course, it's not the first time we've seen this type of chaos in Parliament. But Chinia, what do you know happened in Parliament per the information you've gathered so far, the briefing you've had so far? What exactly happened? Is the Herald newspaper's account a true reflection of exactly what happened as you know it?
Well, I wasn't
in
at
Parliament,
the scene, and I didn't also watch a comprehensive video of what happened. So it is just pockets of reports that we are all picking. And for me, what happened yesterday was unfortunate. It shouldn't have happened. But I think that as a democratic country, we have accepted the 1992 Constitution and other legislations as the guiding principles of our democracy. Unfortunately, I've not had so much information about the first to seventh Parliament in terms of these kind of mishaps, but at least the 8th Parliament that we had a lot of serious disagreement leading to unfortunate situations like this, starting with the election of the Speaker of Parliament on the 9th of 7th January 2021, and subsequent disagreement. I remember when a CI was supposed to be laid and people physically prevented the laying of the CI and causing commotion in the chamber. So from the 8th Parliament to now, I think that these things have happened. They are not acceptable. But I'm sure it is because we ourselves don't apply ourselves to the rules that we set for ourselves. Because ever since the Appointments Committee started vetting the president nominees, I think the highest number of nominees that have been vetted in a day is 3 or 4. And according to the minority's version of the agreement yesterday, was that they were going to vet 3 ministers, as it has happened previously. And then the clerk, I'm sure through, this is the minority's version. I mean, because when there is a conflict, everybody will have his or her version. The clerk to the committee decided to advertise 4 the vetting of 8 nominees, which has never happened. I mean, sometimes the essence of vetting is not to disqualify people, but it's to open up and let people know who your ministers are. And that is why even the standing orders for Parliament itself requires that when the president nominates somebody for a ministerial position, you advertise it for 2 weeks so that people can send petitions and all manner of things on the nominee, so that you can grill or you can squeeze the nominee on the petition and memoranda that you have received. Because once you are nominated to be a minister, you become a public entity or a public figure, and people need to know. And I mean, scarcely do you have ministers being disqualified through vetting and through Parliament, but at least it exposes them for the public to make their own judgment as to the personality and the characters that have been put in government. That is the essence. Most of the questions that have been asked these nominees do not stop them from becoming ministers, but at least it gives some value judgment in the minds of the Ghanaian people of who your minister for finances. When Atufosun was there, he was vetted. Several questions were asked. Me sitting here, I mean, it gave me a value judgment of the guy, his experience, as far as the workings of that ministry are concerned. I mean, I get the impression or the feeling that he's fit for the job. Other people have their value judgment on his personality and the personality of other nominees. So, if it is the case that you agree to vet 3 people, and the clerk, without the consent of the minority, goes to advertise for 8 people to be vetted, it is foul in the first place, and it doesn't engender consensual building. So you have started on a fault note that I don't matter, that you can do whatever you want. And my brother, ask yourself, when have we had the situation that 8 ministers are vetted in a day? Can you do a good job? Can you do a good scrutiny of the people? Can you expose them and let Ghanaians see their capabilities and get a value judgment on them?
But the same committee that you're talking about decided not to even ask a single question of the Greater Accra Minister nominee.
Well, that is their position.
You get the point I'm making?
Yes.
Your point is that there is an objective. There's a reason why the vetting is conducted.
Yes.
So then I'm saying that the same appointment and confirmation committee can decide to do 2 minutes each if they so
if
they deem fit.
If they so wish.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yes. So there's nothing also wrong.
Yes.
If they spend so much time on a particular nominee.
Well,
it's their discretion.
Right.
It's their discretion. And you see, what baffles me is my colleagues in the NDC beginning to have problem with the longevity of the minority leader and the ranking member of the committee asking questions.
Yesterday he asked 187 questions.
But are you not in Ghana? Between 2021, when the appointment committee, Mutaka and Haruna, could ask endless questions. And it's part of the rules.
Fact. True.
Mutaka will take the nominee on for 2 hours, 3 hours. Haruna will come and continue 3 hours. They saw nothing wrong with that. I think this one self is mal because it's only Afenyo who is spending a lot of time. In the case of the NDC, when they were in the minority, Mutaka will spend hours on some nominees, and Haruna will come and spend hours on same nominee. Nobody complained. Why are they complaining? This is not part of the rules. Have they, as the minority leader, broken any rule? The minority leader, who is the ranking member of the committee, has unlimited questions to ask. That is the rule. And the NDC, when they're in the minority, exercise that power under the same rules.
No, I mean, I have to be fair to the facts, that's true. But the point I'm trying to make is, as parliamentarians, are you also mindful and conscious of how the public feels about keeping them behind their sets for 4-5 hours intervene one person, and sometimes, to be very honest with you, some of the questions, come on. I mean, can you sing this hymn? Can you do this? Which God do you draw your inspiration from? I mean, why?
What you cherish or what you think is valuable may not be valuable to another person.
Come on, honorable. Anyway, I get the point you're making.
I'm just making a point.
That's the practice.
I may also personally have my disagreement or some questions that are being posed. Every individual, whether in MPP or NDC, will always have our disagreement with questions that are being asked as unnecessary.
Yeah.
I mean, that one you can't take away. But that is a person's way of, conducting his role. You may disagree, you may agree. But the point I am making is that the parliament itself has to be responsible. Otherwise, we are lowering the image of parliament. And when we do that, then we don't expect the public to give us the respect that we require, because we ourselves are devaluing ourselves.
Okay.
And so on this occasion, I think that the rules of engagement were not followed, because there has never been any occasion where you have an appointment committee vetting 8 nominees. So if it was agreed that 3 should be vetted, and they vetted as many as 5.
Okay.
I think vetting 5 ministers for a day was good enough. And the 5th nominee vetting ended at about 10. I personally think I agree with the UK system of parliamentary system, where MPs go to work during the day and come to Parliament. Parliament starts around maybe from 4, when most people are going home and they can follow proceedings, and MPs work at that time. I think if we have that kind of system, I would prefer. That is my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But where we have chosen to work during the day, and you work up to 10 p.m., and you have vetted 5 ministers, and everybody is tired, and you need to, subject the other nominees to good questioning, you need to go and rest and continue the next day.
Look, yesterday.
And so there should have been compromise. I think the majority stand on insisting that they continue was not fair, because if they had not insisted, probably they couldn't have put the minority to go to that extent of physically stopping the system.
Look,
and like I said, it is because of the precedents in the 8th Parliament. I remember, like I said, when they were to lay, the majority was to lay an ally for the EC. The minority then physically prevented in Parliament House, which is unlawful, because there's a procedure. Once government business must go on, they want to lay CI, you must allow the CI to be laid, and then there's a procedure you follow in rejecting it. But they physically said it will not be laid. So we are lowering the image of Parliament, both the minority and the majority, and both sides must be held responsible. I don't think that the actions of both sides is right, and normally it is the actions that suggest the kind of reactions you get.
Okay, now let's I have some information for you, and I'm sure that would be very useful to the conversation we're having. Perhaps it would enrich it. That's the point I'm trying to make. So Simmons, he's the dean of the Parliamentary Press Corps. So he's not a politician. He's a journalist. Now, he has provided us with this useful information just to help all of us. Now, this is what he tells me through this WhatsApp message. He says, Moro, the order of appearance of nominees as agreed with the chairman yesterday. As agreed with the chairman yesterday. So 2 sides, minority, majority. So ranking member.
He said with the chairman.
Yes,
he
with the chairman.
didn't say with leadership.
No, according to this.
He said with the chairman.
So I had to
So
ask
maybe
him,
he may have to clarify.
No, hold on. I had to ask him. Both agreed. And this is what he tells me. So let me read everything he just sent to me. Honorable Dr. Rashid Pelpo was supposed to be. So Honorable Dr. Rashid Pelpo, so Minister of Employment.
I was at the appointments committee to give moral support to Dr. Rashid.
Oh, he's a very good friend.
Oh, he's my senior brother.
Okay.
And I mean, coming from my region, and he's a good man.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, I don't support his party, but
right.
I mean, once I'm in government, he has been given an opportunity. My prayer is for him to succeed.
He succeed. Okay.
Yeah.
There's Honorable Minta Kando, Health. Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa, Foreign Affairs. Sam George, Minister for Communications and Digitalization. And then there's Honorable Nikwe. Now, Honorable Nikwe is Joseph Bukari Nikwe.
Yeah,
Saboba, Transport. And then Charity Gardner. Now, what happened yesterday? We only had Rashid Pelpuo.
How many did you mention?
So that's seven, according to Simmons, you know. So 7. But yesterday was only Kofi Adams, Nikwe, Sam George, and then Rashid Pelpuo. The rest couldn't appear. The other 3 couldn't appear. They happened. They appeared by.
If there are 7, 5 appeared, so it means 2 didn't appear.
No, so I don't know whether Charity Gardner was around, but
so
we saw
8.
Kofi Adams.
That makes it 8.
No. 7. I've just given you the list.
5 appeared. Kofi Adams appeared.
I saw.
Pelpuo appeared.
Okay, you mean before the committee?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
5
so 4.
appeared.
No, 4.
Yes.
4. Yes, because it was Rashid Pelpuo, Sam George, Nikwe, and Kofi Adams. I watched 4, just 4.
Okay.
Yeah, but I saw Akando and Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa.
Okay.
You know, in fact, they were standing there when the debacle ensued, and then they left. You know, but as for Charity Gardner, I didn't see her. It's possible she was there, but I didn't see her. Then he goes ahead. So Simmons goes ahead to say that now these were the agreed lists, both sides agreed on, and same forwarded to the press corps. Do you get it? So the press, all we know is that 7 nominees were appearing before the committee yesterday. So using all the time to vet one person and tend to ask the rest who were also penciled to appear to go home was unfair. So that's what he thinks, you know.
But what I'm also saying to you is that the minority's version is that they had agreed to vet 3. They didn't agree to vetting 8 as proposed by the majority.
Okay.
It was the clerk who advertised this number without the knowledge of the minority. That is their claim.
Oh, I see.
I'm not there.
Because Ayariga's account sort of coincides with what's the name? Simon is just telling me.
But the point is
originally there was 3,
the
it was up to 4,
and
then 7.
If you recollect, when MPP was in government and we were in the majority, when the leadership goes to meet, there are proposals that are brought forward.
Okay.
The minority will disagree with some of the issues, but the majority will still go ahead to put them out.
Okay.
I think that is the kind of situation.
Okay.
Because the minority position is that they did not agree to this number of people being vetted.
Right.
But it was still put out by the clerk to the committee, which means that the minority didn't consent to this number.
Is that information you have?
Yes. That is the position of the minority.
So you're saying that the minority is saying that the
7 or is it 8?
No, as what
7. They said they didn't agree to the 7.
So you're saying that the minority, per what you know,
yes,
did not agree
to this number.
But
it was put out by the clerk to the committee.
But when it was put out, did they know about it? Because once it is put out, it becomes public information.
You know, before they go for these things in Parliament, the leadership will meet and discuss, and agree
in conclave.
Yes, in conclave, and agree on the terms of operations.
Yes.
And so once you go and then they say that we don't agree to this number, and you still put it out, my position will still be that I don't agree to it.
I get it, but the point I'm telling you, look, granted what you're saying is even true, which is that what was agreed at conclave was not what was put out. Granted.
Not that agreed. I don't think that it was agreed by both sides. I think there was a disagreement. That is how I see it.
Okay, so
the minority says that they did not agree to
so there was a disagreement. So what you know is that, or what you're thinking, or what you are guessing is that there may have been a disagreement in terms of the number of people who were vetted.
Yes.
So perhaps the majority side would have said 7. The minority side would have said, well, let's go with 3.
Yes.
But the question I'm still asking is that maybe I will not be fair to ask you this question because you are not part of those who took that decision. But the point I'm trying to say is that let's even grant it that later on or finally 7 names came out, and it was in the public domain. The press were aware. So I'm assuming that once the press is aware, the majority would also be aware. Did the majority, no, but hold on. Did the majority, for instance, say that, look, until and unless we're able to agree between the two of us how many we are going to be vetting, we are not prepared to be part of this exercise.
You see, there are rules and laws that governs institutions, but there's also always a culture component of that institution.
Yeah.
If you remember in the A Parliament, there were a lot of things that were put on paper and brought before Parliament, and the minority would tell you that they disagreed on those things in conclave and they were not going to accept them. That is the culture of Parliament. So it's part of their culture.
So being that
majority and minority, sometimes they build consensus, they agree on certain things. There are certain things they don't agree. And so, but the question I am asking is that, is it fair if you want our appointment committee to do a good job of scrutinizing the appointees, for them to start vetting after 10 in the morning and vet 7 nominees in a day? Is it fair?
Well, that is, I mean, fairness is relative. But here's
I mean,
the thing.
it has never done. Is there any history to that?
But Chinua,
is there a precedent?
Isn't it strange?
Is there a precedent of where Parliament has vetted 7 nominees in a day?
Yeah. I can't quite recall. But the point I'm trying to make is this.
Normally it's 3-4.
Yeah, but Chinua,
sometimes under the A Parliament, there were days they vetted 2 people.
But Chinua,
because Mutaka and Haruna spend the whole day grilling the person.
But Chinua, listen to this, please. If indeed the numbers that we agree were 3 at conclave, they were vetting only 3 people, how come the minority side participated in the vetting of the 4th person and did not say that once, as far as we're concerned, we can only vet 3, so we'll not do 4, and so we're leaving? And again, if you listen to the minority, their problem at the time, the reservation they raised was not necessarily about whether or not this was not what was agreed. What I heard them say was that they were tired and that we're going. And remember that Ahiafo kept complaining about the fact that you can't keep somebody, and it had to do with Sam George. Sam George had been kept there for almost 5 hours. 3.5 hours of that 5 hours alone was for Afenyo Markins. And he was saying that he was giving, Afenyo Markins 3 more questions to ask, after which the session was going to end. And his reason was that they were tired. And so you would then understand why the minority was also saying that, look, if indeed the issue was that you're tired, then let's all go home. You cannot in one breath be saying that we're tired and yet you want us to vet two more people.
Is it not fair on the minority side?
I can grant them that. But I'm saying that it does not tally with the reason that you're giving. Your reason is that the reason...
It's not my reason because I'm not part of the appointments committee.
But you sounded confident about it.
We are all speculating.
Okay. If it's speculation, then let's take a break.
No.
So if it's speculation,
we are all saying what we have heard.
Don't worry,
I'll come back to you. What was sent to you is the person's view. Somebody will disagree with it.
He's a journalist.
Oh no,
he's a journalist.
That is what he was given. But I'm also telling you that there is a statement by the minority that I'm privy to that they did not agree on this number of people.
And I just raised issues about your narrative. In fact, the reason you're giving me, and I'm saying that something doesn't add up. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll come back to the issue. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
Even if members of Parliament decide to return to the old, the facilities here will not be ready for the exercise.
In silence. Let there be some order.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Nominee, congratulations, and I wish you well. Take care of yourself. Bye.
Guys, so I got this app. It's called Ayoba. It's a chat app that helps me with beauty tips and cooking tips. A super app that feeds me music and the latest sports content. I even use it for my studies. And the good news is, I don't need to use my data bundle because I'm on MTN. Charlie, the app just did be.
Ayoba, the all-in-one app that lets you chat, call, read, play, pay, and listen. Use Ayoba at no data cost on MTN. Download Ayoba now.
Who are you? You. Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bready poor mattress anymore? Don some slippers, then follow me.
It is part of the mattress we did it from there.
Yeah?
That be the mattress where the dead for.
Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all. Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like Ash Foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
Attention all farmers. Are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and IRECOP brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafuajenkwa and the IRECOP with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste. And these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and IRECOP organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOD, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
This is Coastal Park, a well-demarcated gated community carved out to host your residential and commercial properties. With a minimum of 40,000 Ghana cedis, you too can own a piece of this serene site.
It's just 50 minutes drive from the Central University College, as well as just some 5 minutes drive from the Ningo Senior High School. More so, just in case you live somewhere in Adam and you want to take that excursion to many of those areas along the Volta estuary, this is the right property for you to invest in.
Great news from Estate Masters Limited. We're running a 10% discount promo on all sites to celebrate our 10th year anniversary. Join in the celebration by becoming an Estate Master. Enjoy benefits such as free site visits throughout the duration, free indenture, and free site plan. Contact us for more information. Remember, T's and C's apply. Estate Masters Limited, your most preferred estate partner.
You're the answer to my prayers. You're with me everywhere. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need tonight. Give me shelter from the rain. You breathe life in me again. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need to know tonight.
great music, excellent service, great company, and meats galore. The Alisa Friday Barbecue. It's fun on Fridays at Alisa.
Very sorry that these scenes that we are seeing are being projected to the rest of the country and to the world. The whole world knows that Ghana has one of the most beautiful and functioning democracies. The Ghana Parliament remains an envy of many parliaments. We've had an election that was so beautiful, the losing side conceded, and the whole world acclaimed us. And you could see that by the number of heads of states who came to witness the transition. So please, let us not destroy that image, that enviable image that we have carved for ourselves to the rest of the world as a beautiful, functioning democracy. I am pleading with all sides. As you can see, we would have continued, but logistically, it is no longer possible to continue. Logistically, the microphones have all been destroyed. And you know that with the microphones destroyed, it will be difficult for the media to carry the proceedings live on their various stations. They may carry the image, but they cannot carry the voice. And vetting is about assessing and evaluating the nominee. As it is now, we in this room may be able to assess and evaluate them by hearing them, but the rest of the country will not be able to do that. The technical staff have closed and they have gone home. And so there's no way, in fact, even if they were here, the destruction of some of the machines here cannot be easily replaced tonight. So for that reason, it is practically impossible to continue with the vetting. So I am pleading with all sides, that we should bring proceedings to an end, and tomorrow, given that the facilities here have been destroyed, by morning we will designate a new location within the House to continue with the vetting of the nominees. But before I end, let me caution everybody that, you see, all of us have supporters out there. All of us need to satisfy our supporters. And so when we are vetting, let's make good use of the time allocated to us so that we can be efficient, we can vet as many people as possible, so that we can have the ministers at the various ministries functioning and delivering on the commitments that Ghanaians endorsed at the polls by the way they voted. So I am pleading with members of the committee, and I will have discussions with my colleague, the minority leader, so that we can come to some conclusion on the time allocation and how how long we take to vet individual nominees. So please, I'm pleading with you. Because what we have done today, we have seriously...
In silence. Let there be some order.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Nominee, congratulations, and I wish you well. Take care of yourself. Bye.
So sorry about that. And that's what Ladi Ayamba.
Yeah.
She's named before Pussiga.
Yes.
You know, she actually kept raising her hands. She raised her hands for almost 5 minutes. So like her for spotted and said, oh, you know, I mean, he thought she had something to say, something to ask.
Yeah.
You know, because she kept raising her hands, you know. And then when the man called her, she said, bye-bye. Oh, my God. Charlie's woman. Anyway, so let's get on with the business of the day. So, Honorable, you were on the floor when we had to take a short break. This is Good Morning Ghana. We're back. Joining us this morning is Amidu Chinia Isaku, the former MP for Sisala East and also former Deputy Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources. Honorable. And then also Elikem Kotoko is the Deputy National Organizer of the NDC. Honorable, you on the floor. Sorry.
So, like I said earlier, the agreement was for them to vet 3 people. Eventually, they vetted 5. And so, I think the majority side did not, they were not fair to the minority. And that resulted in the disagreement and all that. So, I mean, as a parliament, we must play according to rules that we set for ourselves. And like I also said earlier, I don't know of any precedents where 7 people have been vetted in a day, because the vetting committee members need time so that they can critically scrutinize the nominees and expose them. When I say expose, it's not to let people see them, because as a nominee, when you appear before the appointments committee, they ask you varied questions, and it's for you to speak to the issues and let people be able to place a value judgment on you and your personality. That is all of it.
So when you hear...
on how many occasions do you have nominees being rejected by Parliament?
So we just listened to Muhammad Yarga, who is the majority leader, talk about the fact that he's going to sit with the minority leader and agree on some rules of engagement, which is perhaps the number of questions to ask and how much time allotted to a nominee, etc. You don't think it's a good idea?
The point is that there can't be any new rule of engagement. The rules of engagement from the A Parliament, I'm sure other previous Parliament appointment committees are known. The ranking member, who is the minority leader, has unlimited questions to ask. That has been the tradition.
And so shall it be.
So shall it be.
Until the standing orders of the House are changed.
I mean, that has been the tradition. Because if Haruna Idrisu had the opportunity to ask unlimited questions in the A Parliament vetting committee, why should Afenyo can be denied the opportunity to ask unlimited questions?
Speaking of which, someone has said
what is good for the good is good for the gander.
Yeah, so there's a regular view of this program. She's called Loratu. She's just sent me a message. She said, Honorable Chinia is misleading us. The only MPP minister vetted for a longer period was Ken Oforiatta. He said it's misleading. Ken was extremely sick and had returned from the States after undergoing medical procedure. Consequently, the then appointment committee agreed to schedule his vetting for 2 days, since he was unable to sit for an extended period of time. Despite this, the total number spent over the 2 days was hardly more than 3 hours.
He is rather misleading.
That was a period.
She is misleading. Ken was vetted throughout the day, and second day he continued.
No, but you also recall.
He was vetted for 2 days.
That is true, but you also recall
and
that
other ministers had longer period of being vetted by Haruna and Muta. Can't you remember?
About 4, yeah. There were instances for about 3-4 hours. But for me,
Haruna alone would take 3-4 hours.
For me, the question is whether we should continue like this.
So we can discuss that. But Loreto is very wrong.
That's fine.
Anyway, I have my president's right.
Anyway, so let me come.
Ken was vetted for 2 days.
When you say 2 days, you don't paint the right picture, Honorable.
Why?
Anyway.
Okay, get the number of hours he was vetted on each day.
Okay, that's fine. We can cross-check that. Elikem, what do you make of what happened in Parliament?
Yeah, thank you.
Before you continue, your very good friend, what's his name? Kobi Fiagbe.
Yes.
of the Lens newspaper. He says I should say hello.
He's a senior. I'll call him one of my mentors.
Yes. He's watching.
Good morning to you, senior.
He says you're doing well.
Good morning. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. I don't know why Honorable Chinia had to spend close to 56 minutes on this matter. At a point, I felt I was non-existent in the studio.
Please push the microphone back a bit.
Yeah.
It's too close to.
Okay. Yeah. So, for the first time, I want to call out the president's appointee to the Petroleum Commission.
Right. Let me just quickly say this.
Okay.
Just a quick one.
Okay.
Sorry for the rude interruption. This is an important information. So, the Honorable Ejapa Mesa, who's a former member of Parliament for second, he has just sent us this message. He says, my vetting as Deputy Minister in 2021 lasted almost 5 hours. That's serious. Yes, 5 hours.
Yeah.
Anyway, please go ahead.
I don't have a problem with how many hours anybody is vetted anyways. I want to say a special good morning to Madam Emeafa Hardcastle this morning. Reason being that without mincing words, she should never, under any circumstance, be called upon, be forced or compelled to apologize to anyone for calling out anybody silly. What we witnessed yesterday confirms further that we need to rethink if we should even be calling our members of parliament honorables. There's nothing honorable about what transpired yesterday. And I must say categorically and zoom in strict on honorable and not dompre. I saw this gentleman carry chairs and constantly putting them on the table. That is very silly. If there's any other word, I would prefer it is used. It is not only absurd. Look, you cannot choose to be treating these matters with velvet gloves because of the people involved. If a member of parliament thinks that he or she disagrees with a certain process, whatever, are there not laid down procedures by your standing orders by which you should go? Unless somebody is able to convince me here now that part of the standing orders tells that when you cannot have any other way, the last resort will be to cause some organized chaos. Tables were broken, microphones have been damaged, cost to the state, and these are by members of parliament who will be approving loans. I listened to Honorable Chinia say that, has there been any precedence of this and all that? Must there necessarily be precedence? Why do we think that there must always be precedence for everything? Then we will not even want to achieve higher heights because we will set goals low. And so today, I am so happy, I must say on record here, I am happy that Madam Emeafa Hardcastle referred to Anodompre as silly. Because he confirmed it by his act yesterday. And if anything, you may hold your view. When I'm done, you can. I hold a lot of.
Anodompre is not here.
Yes.
You can't insult him.
No, I am not insulting him.
No, you say he's silly.
See,
no.
You see?
You see? I beg you.
It's not here.
You see?
Let
me tell you the definition of sin.
I beg you. Let me please come in here.
Moro.
See, hold on. I beg you. This is a public broadcast.
Good.
People are watching us.
Good.
What happened in Parliament was, you can call it, it was more or less like a reflex action, right? It was in the heat of something. And then she made those comments. Even that, there are some persons who are not happy with those comments. But we are sitting on a public broadcaster, like a TV station. And so we have to be a bit more measured and a bit more responsible with the kinds of things we say. I mean, you could have said that, look, the words that, Ebefa used on the MP, you can say it's justifiable. It's not necessarily repeating the word here on it. So I beg you. Perfect. You can retract it.
No, as for retract, I will not. I'm so sorry. I am.
You use the word here.
I am really so sorry. I will not retract it.
Do you know why?
I am solely responsible for that. I'm so sorry. It is not an insult. You see, that is where many of us get it wrong. Why do you think silly is an insult? Silly means what you are doing is an absurd conduct.
I know, but you see,
an absurd conduct is silly.
Elikem.
It's descriptive.
No, I get it.
You see,
but
you see, how will you describe a member of parliament carrying a chair and putting it on a table, damaging it in that instance, causing you and myself, the taxpayer, further harm?
Elikem, I beg you.
You see,
within a social-cultural setting, I beg you, when you use the word silly, to use the word silly,
when the minority in the A Parliament,
it's not something that
to the extent even carry the speaker's chair.
So don't let it come from you on Metro TV. That's all I'm trying to say. I beg you.
See, we have gone past this.
I beg you.
Let me be frank with you.
Yes.
It is one of the things that has retarded. Find out. These are some of the things that have actually retarded our progress. When we rather want to play pawn with words and want to rather massage egos. It is why I'm asking you, what is the meaning of silly? Has anybody even found time to go out and say, okay, silly, what does it mean? It means lacking common sense. What does lacking common sense mean? Acting in ways that defies common sense. Why would you think?
But when you repeat what MFA has said, it's as good as saying that you're also telling him that this is what you think about him.
I am a parent. Not even my 9-year-old or 10-year-old son would disagree with me and therefore decide to conduct himself in such a very childish manner that we saw yesterday. And you think that this is a matter we must treat with velvet gloves for broadcasters, etc., to say they want to disassociate, because this same platform and everybody watching us watched whatever transpired in Parliament yesterday, right or wrong. And when we have to speak truth to power and we want to treat it with velvet gloves, then we are nursing our wounds even for the future. Look, when I saw what happened, I asked myself, what exactly is happening? Is this Ghana's parliament? Privileges Committee was immediately asked to go and look into some matter. Will we assign the Privileges Committee a role to play in this to make sure that persons who conducted or misconducted themselves yesterday are brought to book? The videos are all out there. You don't need rocket science to transcribe or translate whatever happened there to you. We saw what Anodombre did. We saw what Jerry, the Wager MP, also did. And so you see, when they have misconducted themselves, somebody wants you to believe that per our social, not because you said it, per our social cultural training, you cannot do this. Let me give you an example. It is one of the reasons why President Akufo-Addo did a lot of damage to this country and he got away with it scot-free. Because many said, he's an elderly, you don't do this to an elderly, you don't do that. And he was destroying the very fibers of our country. And we looked on. It is also the reason why many believe now that we need to relook at our constitution, because so much power is given to the president, and if given the opportunity, one may abuse it like President Akufo-Addo did. We have a plethora of examples for that matter. So where from this sudden concern when I say somebody conducted himself in a silly manner? Silly is never an insult. Unless, you see...
But there's a difference between...
Let me just say this one before you come in.
Okay.
The concern is that it is English language we are speaking. Don't use your vernacular to translate English language. The English itself tells us that silly means what? Lacking or showing lack of common sense or judgment, absurdity. That is it. It cannot be any other thing to implant our socio-cultural, traditional, what have you. It is not Ghanaian language.
No, I don't have a problem.
You get my point?
Elikem, I don't have a problem if you say Anodompre's actions were silly.
So you see, you are virtually saying that instead of saying
But if you say that the man himself is silly, that's
what he did was a silly conduct.
Yes, you can describe his actions as silly.
Yes,
I don't have a problem with that.
what he did was silly. That is what I'm saying. Yes. He has rather come to lay credence to what transpired days before then, right or wrong. He disagreed that he was not silly. He disagreed that he was silly, He disagreed that he was silly and that his person was either indicted or assaulted, what have you. But just in 48 hours, he came back to prove himself that what he was saying was not the case. And that is why I am worried. Because, look, if you disagree with the timing, that it had taken long, etc., it's part of the standing orders, prescriptive, that you must cause chaos, you must destroy the tables.
I mean, your point is the standing orders have remedies to cure some of these mistakes.
So if you disagree with something, you must go through the right processes.
Yeah.
And for Honorable Chinia to say that, have you ever heard them vet more than 3, it doesn't matter. If they can even vet 20 people in a day, if it is possible, why not? Why not? See, for instance, during the vetting of the Greater Accra Regional Minister, no question was asked her. It could probably be because they feel everybody knows her and she's of good conduct, etc. So if other people come and they will all spend maybe just 1 hour, it means they could do even 10 vettings in a day. So it doesn't matter. So is it possible to also vet many people, just few people in a day?
Yeah.
You and I will again agree that a lot of questions that were asked were very inconsequential, very needless, not related at all. But we had to tolerate it because Afenyo Makin had the powers to ask as many questions as he had. I saw it as an image cleansing exercise for him in this whole vetting episode, where you as a majority leader have led your team to a resounding defeat. And now you think that the vetting allows you the platform to demonstrate your singular stellarness. No, it doesn't. So they need to relook at these things.
Look, you're not done yet. Okay, please go ahead.
I think that the Privileges Committee need to look at this and properly investigate this. If not, it is some creeping danger into even our legislature. We are gradually becoming lawless at every facet of our system. Don't forget the 8th Parliament, the very beginning when the military guys stormed the chambers. And then when the other gentleman who turned himself into a goat and was chewing some
former Tema East or
so you see, that lawlessness is eating into. Because I cannot understand why a human being, for instance, would do that. If maybe you're a toddler, it could be permissible. But an adult chewing a paper, unless you're an animal. You get my point? So these are not as though I am insulting or supporting somebody insulting. It is descriptive of the conduct of somebody. And what we all saw yesterday is unacceptable.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Were we not? Yes. It's unacceptable. It is unacceptable. And we must not tolerate that.
Yeah.
Look, were we not in this country when Parliament is about going on recess, a lot of bills are being pushed to Parliament, and in a hurry or in a haste, they try to pass all of them just in order to gloss over some of these things. So what transpired yesterday is unacceptable. It should not be allowed to be swept under the carpet because there's a need for us to begin to cleanse our entire system. When I saw damages being done, to the extent that they had to even raise tables and break the legs of the tables, at whose cost? To you and myself sitting here. We are the taxpayers. It is on our tax that they are living. And they conduct themselves like this. And I think that the MPP should bow its head in shame. Because if you disagree, even with the fact that you must continue vetting exercise, this is not the way to go about it. Certainly this is not the way to go about it.
Okay.
Because mind you, while you were vetting over 5 hours, etc., didn't you know that you will be tired? And even if you say you are tired, then why don't you put it through the right processes? I do not even know your standing orders for the committee. They know it best. So they should be able to know what is supposed to be done, either through their ranking or through whoever. That look, everybody says we are this or that. Can we do this at a later time? Because after all, nobody says that there's no rule barring you from continuing the vetting overnight. You get my point? You can continue throughout to 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., so long as the nominee will be available and you, those who want to vet him, are also available.
Okay.
After all, the time that Afenyo Makin spends to even vet one person, if he alone spends 3 hours, what are the others doing? They just become onlookers. You can spend that time to rest a bit if you want to. So let us not make it look as though the conduct is triggered by a certain action. Look, nothing warrants the misconduct of the MPP MPs in Parliament.
Right.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
There are already calls for some kind of contempt charges to be filed against those who participated in the chaos yesterday and to bring them to book. Because we have to take a hard stance and take some kind of punitive measures to discourage members of the House who tend to behave like
just,
this. I mean,
just imagine their kids at home.
We're
watching them do this. I mean, there's no honor in the title being bestowed on them.
And you see, we have to be careful. And one of the reasons why I'm saying we have to be careful, because you see, the trust and confidence that Ghanaians have in our members of the legislature appears to be waning by the day. I mean, if you read the Afrobarometer survey and so on, you can tell what Ghanaians are beginning to think about our members of parliament. And so, for me, the remaining oxygen of honor, which our members of parliament have, I call them the nobles. They shouldn't allow it to just dissipate so fast. We should just rather build on it. And you see, this is coming at a time when somebody decided to make all kinds of allegations about some members of parliament, and we saw how he was treated. Even though I think that it was a bit irresponsible, because you can't just go out there and make any kind of public comments without, backing it or substantiating it. That I totally condemn that. But you see, for the ordinary Ghanaian who is there, and that's why Hiafo was right. And it says, look, when you make public comments like this, the ordinary Ghanaian who's there would form a certain mindset and a certain impression about us. And then just the day after, we've seen this, what I'll term, at the very least, a very shameful conduct. Very, very disappointing. Very reprehensible. Very disdainful. It's totally unacceptable. It's untenable.
Yeah.
We're paying you with our taxes. Look, Charlie, this when we look at the taxes. Look at the taxes that you guys take from us. When I say guys, I mean government. Take from us when we buy a product.
Moro.
Right? We pay you with these taxes and you go and fight in parliament.
Why
are you guys treating us like that?
I have said that these degenerations are not acceptable.
Totally unacceptable.
But let's also look at the actions that lead to that. It's important. You can't say that it's not important. They are laid down rules
as to how to go about them.
They are laid down rules.
Let me give an example.
Now, if you go to conclave, and you agree to vet 3 or 4 people, and you say because you are in the majority, you must forcefully vet 7 people in a day. I mean, it's not acceptable. That action should not happen in the first place.
So how come they didn't raise it, but they only raised the concern of being tied?
I'm saying that action should not happen in the first place to warrant the reaction.
It is the reason why there are laws.
And I'm also telling you that the NDC physically prevented the majority in the A Parliament from even laying papers in Parliament. Physically, yes.
Was it right?
It was not right.
Must it be continued?
It must not continue.
So why are we endorsing
So that is why I'm saying, I'm not endorsing it, but I'm saying that the majority side should not also insist on vetting 7 people. It's all right. So when you go to conclave, you agree to vet 3 or 4 people. Why do you eventually you did 5?
I'm glad for your tolerance. But you
did 5.
It is the reason why even laws.
Why should you persist?
It is the reason why even laws exist. Why do we have a constitution? Had there not been any constitution in Ghana, a leader whom many refer to as a tyrant or authoritative, like Nana Akufo-Addo, would have destroyed this country.
You can't say that. You can't say
that is what's word on the street.
You can't say that.
Would have destroyed this country further had it not been even the constitution, even though they have been smart ways to go around and even abuse it to some extent. That is why there are laws. That is why there are rules. It is the reason why there are standing orders. The standing orders foresaw that there could be such misunderstandings to intolerable levels. What must you do? I do not even know.
The majority must conduct themselves well.
Yes, let's assume the majority did not conduct itself well, but they did not in any way disrupt the progress or the process in any way. They only kept insisting to continue the verdict. You disagree, and your disagreement is only being displayed by causing damage to property.
Okay.
It is not acceptable and cannot be justified under any circumstance on this planet.
A regular viewer of the program, Jabaro, has just sent this message. He says, I'm really enjoying the show. We're expecting the appointments committee to ask questions about how we can safeguard the Ghanaian tech companies. Most of our IT infrastructure are managed by foreign companies, which is a serious national security concern. But using 3 hours to be asking questions about school fees and traveling expenses, it's like 5G launched but not working. Tell my friend Alekem Kotoko I'm greeting him. That's coming from
Those
Jabaro.
questions were very relevant.
And then this
they were very relevant questions.
Prince Derek J.
He ended up saying that the wife takes care of him.
Yeah,
it means a lot.
Chinia, why you have a problem with somebody's wife taking care of him?
He pays school. He was in Ghana and school in London.
Yeah, but he says his wife is industrious.
It means a lot.
He's paying his school fees.
He was schooling in London. Was in Ghana.
Why, she can't afford it?
Fly to attend classes.
Why, she can't afford it?
And look at the statements he makes about other people.
But you don't even know the business she runs. And yes, you are doubting whether what she says is true or not. Oh, Chinia, why are you doing that?
Those are relevant questions.
Okay.
They are relevant.
Okay.
And he provided relevant answers.
So Prince Derek J says hello.
The one who says he's fighting for the ordinary person stays in Ghana and attends classes in London. But when you describe some people as those who who don't think about the ordinary people.
So, Honorable Chinia.
All right.
Attend class in London, fly to London, attend class and come back.
The people who were fighting for you to become
and pretend that he's the one who cares about the ordinary Ghanaian.
No. So, since when did it become a yardstick that when you care about people, you must be like them?
Fly to London.
So, when the people who were campaigning for you to win an election, were they benefiting from all the benefits you had, including, excuse me, some of the exposés by Malik Basintali on you?
That cannot be true. You see, these are...
Were they benefiting? Were they benefiting from those?
I will not accept that.
No, were they benefiting? Were they benefiting from the lands that you acquired, etc., as a member of parliament?
If I buy a land,
yes,
as a Ghanaian, is it a crime?
It's not a crime, but the ordinary person doesn't have the land.
People buy lands.
Nobody is disputing that.
People buy lands.
No, you see, my point, I'm only trying
These are the irresponsible comments that they have to question them.
No, my only...
How many appeared for the committee?
Yes.
He admitted he bought government.
My only point is that...
Mutaka is sitting on government land. Rashid Pilpo is sitting on government land.
You see, my point is
Go
that...
to Tamale.
Good.
Your MPs, your appointees,
my point is
bought government lands.
My point is that... For instance,
these are the things that must be exposed.
As you and I are sitting...
that you are hypocrites.
As you and I are seated here, do we have the ordinary person having the privilege of even sitting around this table? Whether you like it or not, the answer is no. That sets you even apart.
Cannot be talking that
are you saying that the benefits you derive...
Trying to attend class London means a lot. You are... I mean...
What exactly is your problem with some just going to London?
Pay flights. Go, attend class for 10 days. Fly back. I mean...
what's wrong with that?
Have you made private flights when you were in government?
Hold on. I want to understand Chinia. Maybe he has legitimate concerns. I need to ask, what exactly is the problem with St. George flying out of Ghana? It's all about money. But he just told you at the vetting yesterday that his wife is industrious.
And that is why the ranking member is pinning him down to establish a point.
Which point is that?
I mean,
as in how he's funding, how he funded his education.
It's important.
Yeah, but he said his wife is funded it. His wife feeds him. That's what he said.
Care of him.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Why, you have a problem with that? Oh, Chidia. Stop this issue.
It's interesting.
I'm surprised.
Prince Derek says,
well, unless he knows something we do not know.
And this is what he says. It's the last days of every parliament. They stay throughout the night to pass bills, especially their ESB. So the argument about not vetting because it is late and is untenable, especially when they look on for Afenyo Makin to waste time on only one nominee. No, that's what he thinks. That's what he thinks.
He didn't waste time.
So he says what happened in Parliament? What happened in Parliament? The disruption and the distraction was premeditated. The minority had targeted some nominees that they had problems with, and let some. Oh, hold on, Chinia, and let some off without few or absolute no question because they had their own words. No problem. That's what he said. And then Dennis Glan, you know him? Dennis Glan? Yeah. Let's tell Elikam I said hello.
I think he's a media guy.
Yes. I think he's a media teacher or something. Yes. Something like that. He's a very good friend of mine.
Okay.
So Osed Bonsu Rashid, he's a former assemblyman at Medina. He's also sent this message. He says, "Moro, good morning. So it's as if Alex gave a hint of his disagreement with some arrangement by the clerk in his one-on-one interview with Bernard Avile. Moro, did you watch that interview raising the issue with the conduct of committee clerk when they, MPP, were in government and now that they are in opposition? We glorify a lot of ills in our politics. What happened in Parliament is shameful. But let's be honest, rules are rules. In vetting, the committee should take decisions before they start the business of the day. The idea of the majority always forcing their way is sad. The minority should also be responsible. Edem Kotoko, your tone will send you back to position. Ghanaians don't learn. Moro, our two parties will never learn." Anyway, so Omar Farouk, he is Omar Farouk. I don't know. You've said to me that you're out of town. Anyway, I don't know whether you're back. Tell Chinia we were in the country when the president used our money to fly a private jet. What is wrong with a Ghanaian flying to London to study? We have a lot of Ghanaians traveling outside to study. How can he justify that? Malik is waiting for him. You know, Malik is a very good friend. You guys don't get it.
Malik has fought to get a job, so they should allow him to enjoy his job.
But you haven't even gone to congratulate him. I don't know why you haven't gone to congratulate him.
I'll greet him. I'll go and greet him one day.
Okay.
I'll go and check how he's working.
You go and check on him. No, he has already said it. He said if you want to come and work at YEA and you want to focus on making money, then don't come and work with him. Why you doing that? You don't believe it. Anyway, so let's do this quickly. I'm actually torn between the constitution review matter and also a matter which, honestly, I'm very passionate about.
Okay.
And it has to do with the way we treat or some foreign companies treat our Ghanaian workers.
Oh, yeah, the two companies.
You know, unfortunately, we have just... Annie, I don't know how much time Annie will give us on this because it's 42.
I had too much time on the first one.
And we need some more time to talk about this. But, you know, during Dr. Rashid Pelpo's vetting, it was a matter that came up. And one of the things he said, which gladdens my heart, is that he says he protect Ghanaian workers from mistreatment. And the mistreatment for me is some of them are emotional, some of them are psychological, some of them are economic, very economic in nature. But there's one other information I need to add, that when we're talking about those who were vetted yesterday, we left out the Honorable Murtala Ibrahim Mohammed, Tamale Central. Yes, Tamale Central. He's going for environment, science, and technology, isn't it? Yeah, we left him out. So 5 people were vetted yesterday. Yes. And 3 were not vetted, which is...
all people was not understand. I think you're making the ask me a question.
Yeah. He had a fairly good ride. I mean, anyway, that's fine. But Chidi, I don't know whether you guys will be interested in this. I know Elikem would be.
Yes,
right,
yes,
he has had cause to complain about this.
Yes, I have had cause.
But if we can do this briefly,
I'll do the 2 briefly.
In just 5 minutes.
Yes, I'll do the 2 briefly. Let me set time.
So this is what he said. He said we protect Ghanaian workers from mistreatment. Labour Minister designate. Raisa Sambu, Ghanaian Times, says that the Minister designate for Labour, Jobs and Employment, Dr. Abdul Rashid Hassan Pelpo, has vowed to protect Ghanaian workers from mistreatment by foreign business owners and ensure fair labor practice if approved by Parliament. He said it was unacceptable for foreigners to operate businesses in Ghana and subject citizens to inhumane treatment, right? Stressing that strict measures would be enforced to curb such abuses. Victims should not hesitate to report such companies and abusers. We will ensure corporates face the full wrath of the law. Appearing before Parliament's Appointment Committee yesterday, Dr. Pelpo underscored the need for a review and full enforcement of Labour Act 2003, Act 651, and its accompanying legal instruments. He notes that workplace reforms driven by technological advancement required adjustment to labour laws to reflect current trends. Addressing concerns about employment in the private sector, he disclosed plans to create a centralized system that publishes all available job vacancies, making it easier for job seekers to access opportunities. He emphasized that supporting the private sector to expand was key to job creation and economic growth. But, I mean, I think we're all very familiar with the kinds of treatment that are given to, our friends and family relatives who work with, or some Ghanaians who work with some of these foreign companies. And it's appalling. It's absolutely untenable. And some of them are actually earning 600 Ghana cedis a month, 700 Ghana cedis a month. And these are big companies who are making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you know what? They pay folks from their own country about 10 times or 100 times what they pay the Ghanaian workers. I mean, like how? And when you speak to these young, especially when you speak to these young ladies and these guys, they tell you that they're even scared to go and report the matter to the appropriate quarters for fear of being victimized.
Moro, a quick one on this. I am very particular about this. Unfortunately, for the first time, I don't want to call out any particular foreign group or company. But I have been to a few shopping centers and other places, for instance, where you see, especially where the tellers are most often women. And women and childbirth and all the stress later in life and all of that. Where you have women standing at the till.
Let me do this 2 quick announcements. It's extremely important. My boss, Annie, has just forwarded this information to me. Now, my understanding is the damages have been fixed a day after. So, flowing from what happened yesterday, the damages have been fixed. The vetting is to take place at the same venue, contrary to the earlier alternative space, which was the Speaker's office. That's the first one. Secondly, Honorable Matthew Poko Prempeh was flying to the United States of America anytime Parliament was on recess to study at Harvard University. That's coming from Honorable Timothy Atabuade Awonterim. He's a former MP, Bulsa North constituency. It says, in fact, Get Fund was funding him.
You see the
no, but of course.
You see the Pandora box is being opened.
Said yes, but they said Get Fund was, but he doesn't see it. He doesn't find anything wrong with that. Yeah. So anyway, please go ahead.
So I am very glad to hear the minister designate mention that, because it's of worry and concern for some of us. It may not be your direct relation, but it may be someone who tomorrow may need assistance from you if you do not speak on these matters. And considering the fact that most or some of these foreign companies come into our country and abuse our citizens. We have a plethora of examples to give as well. You recall one gentleman who, was it Mawako or so, where they put pepper in somebody's eyes and all those kind of things. A lot of these things happen. I'm sorry, but to even say, some of them even abuse our women. Yet they cannot talk because for fear of losing their job. A job that pays them 500 cedis, 600, 700, which is nothing anyways because their lorry fares alone. And you wonder how these people are living. Look, I would further add that the minister, when confirmed, do two things. Commission a research desk that will look into all these foreign entities and investigate how much the conditions of work of the staff, especially the locals, compared to their own nationals they bring in. Some of them pay their nationals, their own nationals they bring along, 10, 15 times what they pay the young men. Meanwhile, the people at the down there are the ones doing the actual job. Aside that, there should be a desk that should be created, either at the labor front, wherever, where these people should feel at ease, even if it's an app that is they can download and install on their phones, so that they can easily report some of these concerns, either on anonymously, and only when they need to be called, then they can be reached, so that they will feel safe to do some of these things. Yes. Yes.
That's actually a good idea, a good suggestion.
It will work well, because I have been to some places, and when I see that our ladies, for instance, are at the till, the tellers, and they are standing there from morning when they come on duty till when they close, if it is 2 o'clock or if it is 4 p.m. or 6 or 9 p.m. And such a person is paid just maybe 900 cedis, then have to go home and look, they are tired, you have no life. They didn't offer to be in the military or etc. Even the military is not like that. Nobody's kept standing for that long. So we must look at that. It's very critical. Then the last one is the constitutional review.
Oh no, we can't because our time is up. So I'll get in here to also. I'm sure Tinia, you had you go shopping and you interact with some of these workers and the kinds of harrowing stories that they tell you about their conditions of service.
Yeah, generally
it's terrible.
I mean, foreign companies that employ our people don't treat them well, and not just the foreign companies. In fact,
Ghanaian companies.
The whole private sector operations is not fair to their
Sometimes
employees.
the HRs
they treat them
do things to favor themselves.
Traditionally how we employ family labor. That is how we treat people in the private sector.
True.
It's just like in my house, I bring my nephew, my niece to come and work, and I give anything at my discretion, all that. That is how we treat people in the private sector. Not just the foreigners, but even local business people. And it is high time we look at it. And I don't have any doubt in the ability of Honorable Rashid Pelpo to navigate through and then negotiate for better conditions of service for people who work in the private sector, whether it's a foreign company or a local company. But it is also even time that as a country we begin to look at investing locally. I mean, when the economy is an import-driven economy, and we are creating so many jobs in other countries other than our country. And this is where I'll call on President Mahama and the NDC government to have a look at the one district, one factory concept. And they can, if they disagree with how it was implemented, how it was done, they can reshape it, they can reorganize it. But we need to create businesses locally so that we can enhance local production of raw materials, and the raw materials can be transformed into finished products or added value, so that we can create jobs within the country. Otherwise, we'll continue to be going around, whether NDC or MPP, it will be the same cycle of unemployment, underemployment, and poor conditions of service for the ordinary Ghanaian.
But what do you think about the suggestion he gave that perhaps we may have to get them
a desk,
give them like an opening,
kind of up,
an opening for technological opening where they can, share some of these experiences and inform the appropriate quarters like the Labor Department about what they're going through, so that the Labor Department can follow up and delve into the matter.
I think it is fair. It is fair because sometimes some of the people keep quiet or they don't talk because they're ignorant about so many things.
That's true.
But they have the opportunity to share what they go through and people take them through what they can do to defend themselves, probably the system will improve.
Yeah.
Because in some of the instances, it's because the people themselves don't appreciate what their rights are. They are abused.
Yeah.
So if you have that kind of system where they can share their experiences, then people have the opportunity to be able to guide them and influence how they should react to certain actions where they work.
I think that generally as a country, our attitude towards supporting and protecting our labor force, it's not good enough.
The other truth also is that sometimes we overly respect the foreigner over our own nationals.
Yeah.
I have worked somewhere before, immediately after school, one multinational. And mostly what happens is that there's either some downcutting of some privileges to every staff.
Yeah.
And this is proposed by the head of HR or what have you, who is also Ghanaian, who will do all of that, but for himself, make sure that his benefits are maintained. Then it means that he's helping them cut costs. Because under normal circumstances, and some of these foreign companies also, what they do is subletting recruitments to agencies who take a chunk of the funds and already let you know that they know they have taken, for instance, let's say 5,000, but they tell you their payment is 1,000 cedis.
Yeah.
And that is the condition that you have agreed to it. Look, it's unacceptable.
They're just taking advantage of the unemployment situation to maltreat our own people. Anyway, so I want to thank you guys for.
I just want to wish one Anthony Derek Dogbada Akbai.
Okay.
Happy birthday.
Okay.
It's his birthday today. Derek Dogbada Akbai. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
And Majid Asana Majid. Yeah.
All right.
I also wish to announce to the Yagomura that I am on my way to become the new Yagomura.
Really?
Yeah.
When is that happening?
Very soon.
When are you going to be skinned?
Very soon.
I see. Would you invite us?
Well, I mean, I can't invite a slave.
I thought you were inviting
I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
The incoming Yagomura.
But this cannot happen without me, the boss, being around. It's not going to happen. Anyway, so Edmond says the MPP guy is not telling the truth. He should be able to tell his people in the face that they are wrong. Another press started this whole thing and later vanished, placing the chair on the table and shouting, "Break the chairs." And he says, "Dismantle the chairs." Anyway, so these are the nominees that are going to be vetted, I believe. Today's Friday. Well, there's quite a number of them, about 9 of them or so. Anyway, thanks for watching Good Morning Ghana. Let me say a big thanks to a very good friend of mine, Ugo. Ugo, it's been a while. It's been ages. He's one of the prominent and one of the reputable marriage counselors we have in this country. It's I think his relationship with marriage counselor. Fantastic chap. It's been ages. It's been almost 5-6 years since him and I spoke. He's watching the show. And also Prosper Ashikwe. Now, Prosper, let me read this message quickly. It says, tell my brother Lekem, until we create too many jobs for our teaming strong young people when they can have options, those menial jobs would be all they would have. Regards to him and tell him to respond. He said to respond to his text.
24-hour economy is here.
Yeah. Thank goodness. Thank goodness there's a visionary leader who sees the need to make sure that we solve the unemployment problems.
One job.
Mm-hmm.
Three
shifts, 3 people.
Three people.
Yes,
so 1, 3, 3. There are some of the assemblies where more than 40 people have applied. Some 11, my constituency, 11 people have applied. So, and the 11, they can only pick one. So I'm just thinking if they can apply the 24-hour economy, so that at least they can. It's one job. At least they can have 3 shifts.
If only
3 employees, three MCs.
If only Chinia had time to read our manifesto, he would have realized that we stated where we'll be starting from and where we'll be getting to. So when we get there, and there's a need for them to also run shifts that way, they will do so.
Let me thank you for joining us. So Elikem Kotoko is the Deputy National Organizer of the NDC. Thank you very much for joining us, Elikem, and also my slave Amidu Chinia Isahaku. Annie, I beg you, next time don't invite my slave to join me on the table. It's the optics are not the optics are not good at all. He's a former Sisala East MP,
and I'm going on leave again.
And also the former Deputy Minister for Deputy Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources. Anyway, thanks for watching another edition of Good Morning Ghana. Same time next week Monday, Annie will be here. And, I'm sure you'd enjoy the show. Have a wonderful weekend, and bye-bye.
Yeah. tell you that the public address system has been destroyed. And I can tell you that, as I mentioned,
in silence. Let there be some order.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Nominee, congratulations, and I wish you well. Take care of yourself. Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much. I proceed.
More than 80% of global